But you never know that you could. And when you feel that way, ain't it good, good dancing in the red and gold. And dancing in the red and gold.
This is the 49er Faithful UK show, and we are live on trade deadline day. There are deals being made across the league. No news yet from Santa Clara, and we'll be with you for the next hour or so. So once we finish up, Lynch can give us the big news of the blockbuster trade, usually about 15 minutes after we finish the show. I am Gareth Ellis, and I am joined by Lee Gowland.
Now then, Gareth, how are you doing, mate?
I'm good. How are you? It's been a while.
Yeah, that's been a while. Life and holidays is getting in the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Apologise. We have missed a couple of shows. We are deeply ashamed, but we will do our best to make it up for you. To you. No Paul, no Nadji. Both still busy with various bits and pieces at home. So, but I do expect one or both of them to be lurking in the comments somewhere. Have we got anybody joining us, or is it just me and you, Lee?
We do. We
Hooray.
have Red Jet Shell from
Hey.
over in California.
Excellent. Happy lunchtime.
And we've also got Michael, who turned up to the last few meetups, official watch parties down in London.
Fantastic. Good to
Thank
see
you
you.
for joining, guys.
Mm,
And we've got Colin Snedden sneaking into the comments as
there
well.
we go. That's good.
Bang, bang, and a gang indeed.
It would have been a bit lonely, just me and you.
Well, it would have been. It's a shame that both, like you said, both Paul and Nadji can't make it tonight, because it would have been good having the four of us back together again.
Yeah, it
and
will
obviously,
happen soon, I'm sure.
yeah, and obviously the whole reason for having the live tonight rather than just doing a podcast is because it's trade deadline day, and we've got 58 minutes left of before the trade deadline passes. So, knowing our luck, there'll be no trades today. Because had we done a podcast, there'd definitely be a trade.
That's true.
Because then I have to publish it and get it out straight away. But we thought we'd do it live tonight instead.
No, as
So
I said at the
fingers
beginning,
crossed.
John's just going to wait until we finish up. I'm sure he's got one eye on the show and one eye on the various other feeds. And he's just going to wait until we wrap it up before announcing anything, because that's the way we seem to roll on this show. And good evening, Neil.
Good evening, Neil. What am I looking at here? The Seahawks have traded with the New Orleans Saints.
For Rashid Shaheed.
Ah, right. I'm not bothered about him.
No, I'm not. I'd have been more scared if they were the ones who picked up Quinnen Williams, who has gone to the Cowboys.
Oh, yes. I've just seen that.
Yeah, from the Jets to the
my
Cowboys.
God.
That's
I
from
wish you'd told us that before we went live.
the
Right.
dumpster fire into the cesspit, isn't it? So,
That's not a bad pickup by them. That's not a bad pickup at all.
It's not bad. They got embarrassed at home by the Cardinals last night. Was it last night? Yeah, it was last night.
There's some trades going on.
You're plugged into the feeds. Good man. You can keep
I
your
am.
eye
So
on all of that.
I've got good old Twitter on the go. I'm not going to call it the new name. It's definitely Twitter.
It's Twitter.
But we're also relying on everybody in the comments to help us out a bit here, so we can actually concentrate on what we're going to talk about anyway. Evening all. Chris Woods is in the house.
Good to see you, Chris. So I guess we've got to start with Lee. Are we going to do any business tonight? And is it going to be big business?
Oh, I've got a feel I'm going to disappoint everyone here. I think we will do business, but I don't think it's going to be incoming. I think it's going to be outgoing.
Really? Who's going?
I think it might be JJ.
It's been mentioned, hasn't it?
I think we might ship him out.
Be worth
I just feel as though we've got that many injuries. Making a trade now, I don't think it's going to have the impact as what it would have done had we not had so many injuries. Because who are we going to trade for? What's our priority now? Is it still edge rusher to replace Nick Bosa because he's out for the season? I mean, we missed him for most of the season anyway. Or is it a linebacker to replace Fred Warner? Are we going to go for more than one player? Who knows? We just keep on getting these injuries after injuries after injuries,
Yeah,
and
Mikael Williams
honestly, it's
obviously is
just
gone for the
yeah,
season.
it's just beyond a joke now.
Mm.
It's if it wasn't so funny, you'd
Not
cry.
that funny.
Well, I don't know.
Well, I think if we do business, if we trade and bring in a big name, we may as well just put them straight on IR
Yeah.
because it's going to happen. Isn't it?
Well, did you see that AI video somebody did? It was a player getting off the plane to come sign for the 49ers, dressed in 49ers top. He ended up breaking his or doing his ACL getting off the plane, getting off the flight.
Yeah,
That is our reality. Honestly, it is.
it is. It is. It is.
It's just crazy.
I'm with you. I don't necessarily think we should go. Certainly not all in and make a big sort of trade at this point of the season. I think some other people might, particularly in the NFC, because they're looking at teams like the Niners and saying, look, they're so banged up. How are they going to be come the end of the season? We've obviously seen the Eagles have already done some business, the Seahawks
Yeah.
there. Cowboys, that's probably a longer term for the future, I think. Obviously, the Packers got Micah Parsons at the beginning of the season. I could see them maybe going for something, and I could certainly see the Rams picking up a player or two.
Yeah, I can as well. So let's rewind a little bit. If we were going to do some trading, I'd like to see us bring in at least 3 players, but not your top level players. Because at the moment we're still playing a decent level of football with the players we've got, but obviously our depth has taken such a huge hit. We need more depth to get us through the season. And I know we've got our bye week coming up in week 14, but the vast majority of our
That's
injuries are long term.
Long time away.
Yeah, there's still, I mean, still what, another 5
4
games
games.
away? 4 games.
4 games,
4 games
5
before
games.
we get a rest.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's bodies now. It's bodies with Mikael Williams going down. It's who are we going to be able to field?
So, potentially, I said this a couple of weeks ago now, Bradley Chubb from the Dolphins. I don't think he would cost us an arm and a leg. Demario Davis.
Don't say it like that.
I don't think he'll cost us an ACL or a PCL, UCL, whatever. Demario Davis. I mean, he's come to the end of his contract in at New Orleans. I know he's 36, but he's a seasoned veteran. He can lead the team. He's an all-pro. He's the kind of level that we want where we're not going to overpay for that. So I think bringing him and Bradley Chubb in, I think that would make a huge difference to the team. I think the days of hoping that we're going to get Trey Hendrickson are gone. I know we keep on getting linked. In fact, we've been linked with him today, but I think those days are gone because of where we are as a team. Yes, we well and truly in. I mean, we joint first in the division. Actually, we might not be. We might be second now.
I don't think we should be giving away those sort of premium picks. We need to get younger and cheaper, and we need those first, second round picks.
Yeah.
We're going to need to hold on to them.
Because we need to get younger as well. Again, we need to get younger and hopefully bring in players that are not injury ridden.
Yeah, finding those.
The word escapes us.
We injury prone.
Injury prone, yeah.
Injury riddled.
Yeah, something like that.
Evening, Eric. Happy birthday for yesterday, mate. If you missed that,
I don't think he's going to answer you.
He doesn't have to. I can still say it.
So, what's your opinion? Who do you think we go for if we do go for anyone?
I think we've obviously we've snagged one guy, Keon White from the Patriots. I think it's that kind of deal. I like that. I mean, I don't know much about the guy, but it's as low as you can get, a 6th and 7th round pick swap. He's got another year after his this current year on his deal. So we've got a guy that we can potentially work with and trade up. He was a 2nd round pick, so he's clearly been thought of highly in terms of having the basic traits of the game. And sometimes these things just don't work out. Well,
Steady
go on
on.
then.
Trey Lance was a first round pick.
Well, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, there's obviously a lot of history of guys not getting it right, myself included. Shocking. No, that is. I think we might see if we can get some other um, bodies like that. I think we're looking at probably nothing more than a fifth round pick, maybe going for some kind of journeyman or a guy who's just ended up being the odd man out. I think it's going to be defensive line. I would potentially have liked to seen some reinforcement on the offensive line, but that doesn't tend to happen really. I don't think at the trade deadline, does it?
Yeah,
People
it doesn't.
offensive linemen don't tend to shift at this time of year. I'm happy with the linebackers. I think Bethune has been excellent coming from nowhere. I think he's filling in admirably, and obviously we have a few other guys here waiting in the wings in the linebacker core as well. So I think it's defensive line, and dare I say it, running back.
You think?
Robinson had a decent game. We'll talk about the Giants game. He was
Yeah.
maybe coming up there, but again, we've just got these two guys, and we are so CMC centric. Bringing another guy in who might be able to add something a little bit more dynamic to an offense that is struggling to run the ball. Giants game aside, but that's I think partly because the
Well, we
Giants
did
are
go.
utterly
Yeah,
terrible
yeah.
at
30
stopping
second
the
against
run.
the run. Yeah.
Yeah, so that could be a left field sort of deal that we might do. Arden Key, I'd be happy with that. That's the kind of
Yeah, I'd
guy
be happy with
I
Arden
think
Key.
that we might be able to snag if they end up odd man out at their current club.
Yeah, potentially. Like you said, O-line. We're not going to do O-line at the trade deadline. That's the type of position you'd pick up in free agency or the draft, because they normally come with a premium, because it is a premium position on offense. I know.
And
There was
we know
some
that they're not going to spend anything on the offensive line because
well, they never do they?
They never do they? So
Yeah, I mean,
Trent
even
Williams
Trent
aside,
Williams.
let's say Trent Williams
Well,
aside.
no, I mean, even Trent Williams, we didn't particularly spend much on that, did we?
No, true.
Pick-wise.
Third and the fifth.
I mean, we got him for an absolute bargain.
Steal, absolute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then everybody else has either been through the draft or have been a cheap pickup in free agency. So you're right. We're not going to make a splash there. If we're making a splash anywhere, it's going to be defensive end.
Yeah.
I think if we bring in a linebacker, which I think we definitely need to do, and I agree with you. I thought Bethune had a great game. I mean, he was our leading tackler on Sunday night, 8 tackles. I think he's starting to step up. But I still think we need that veteran presence in the middle of the defense, just as a leader, because I think that's what we're missing more, rather than just somebody who can tackle, move about the field, do some coverage. I think we're missing that leadership now on defense, which is why I think Demario Davis is the perfect person to come in and do that. It could be that we go for somebody else. I mean, Alshire, he's at the Texans. Are the Texans really in a position at the moment where they're giving up? I don't think they are. So I think he might be a little bit expensive.
And I don't know why he would come here knowing that he's not taking Fred's position. This is a stopgap.
Yeah.
Maybe it is for a veteran player who might want to try and rejuvenate their career a little bit, come and be a linebacker at the Niners. I can't see a guy coming for the long term, because they just know that they're probably not going to have that job for the long term.
Yeah. Right. So Eric kind of agrees with us with D-line or receiving tight end. Now that's an interesting one, because obviously Tonga's he deputised for Kittle really well while Kittle was out. So for me, we've got 2 pass catching tight ends, receiving tight ends. Do we need a third? It's not often we use 2, never mind 3. So I'm not sure about the tight end for me, but yeah, D-line definitely. And even if we don't go defensive end, get somebody who can smash it up the middle. Just a little bit more depth there.
we need some bodies on that line.
We do.
It isn't ideal, obviously, but you can get, if a defensive tackle was available, I would say let's bring the guy in and sort of juggle the players as and when. We know there's some versatility about where people can play along that line, and if that's a necessity, there people are going to have to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, people are going to have to keep me right here because I keep on seeing flashes over on the side here. Breaking news, 49ers badge there, and then it's some nobody who just
Speculating,
happens to,
some bot. Should we talk a little bit about the Giants game then? We've missed two shows. We haven't talked about the Texans game. That's probably a good thing, and I think we've missed the boat on that. And we didn't preview the Giants game, but I think the Giants game kind of went a lot more to the script that we thought we might see at the Texans game. And I think the Giants game went as predicted, or we would have predicted.
I think it
at least
finished as we'd expect it to finish. So quickly going back to the Texans game, the thing that stood off for me at the Texans game is we just couldn't tackle for Toffee. It's like we'd forgotten how to tackle. And what I noticed about the Giants game, on the Giants' first drive, it was exactly the same. The amount of missed tackles was incredible. And it didn't, for me, I wasn't confident when we started the game against the Giants, when the Giants were driving on us. And I just thought, oh my God, this is going to be a massacre. Because to me, it looked exactly the same as against the Texans. We just couldn't tackle. We were out of position. It was sloppy. And it didn't feel as though it was a Niners defense. And it left us wondering, is it just the missing players? Or suddenly the team giving up because of the amount of missing players? Have they taken the foot off the gas a bit? But then they proved us wrong. So the second and the third drive, they started tackling correctly, wrapping tackles up, and it started to give us a little bit more confidence. And then the offense, obviously, this season, it's either been the offense has been good or the defense has been good. Mainly, it's been the defense has been good and the offense has been bloody awful. But suddenly the offense stepped up and started playing the way we'd expect them to play. I mean, Mac Jones, 12 for 12 to start the game. That's a great start. I mean, the stats throughout the whole game were great. So he stood up. He took some big hits. He took some risky manoeuvres, diving head first. And I hate to see that happen. But yeah, I mean, the offense stepped up. And the defense came on as well. And midway to 3 quarters into that game, I thought we looked as though we were a team going to the playoffs. We were a team with the chance, and we were only missing 1 or 2 pieces.
I think on the face of it, that's a conclusion a lot of people would come to. Mine was tempered by the fact that the Giants really aren't a particularly good team. We knew that they were very poor against the run, and suddenly our run game gets going. I thought our O-line had one of their better games. They were up and down. They were pretty poor, I thought, against the Texans. Obviously, we could get nothing going, but we were able to sustain those long drives against the Giants, and I thought the O-line did relatively well. I think Burford did okay. I think that's probably an upgrade on Connor Colby. Nothing against him. He's a rookie who got thrown in at the deep end and probably got picked on by defensive coordinators. We obviously know that's gonna happen. I thought Mac Jones was really good. He spread the ball around. He's carrying the injuries, but he certainly looks very comfortable in the offense. And it was good to see complementary football. And I think, dare I say it, special teams look pretty good as well, and not just steady Eddie.
Yes, so I agree with that. The special teams did look good for a change, which was pleasing.
It's not going to last, surely.
Sorry? It's not going to last?
It's not going to last.
I hope it does. At first I couldn't quite remember where we got our special teams coach from. I thought we'd gone from the Giants, but it wasn't. It was the Jets. Sorry, I'm just having a look at that again. Jermaine Johnson surges to a 63% chance of being traded to the 49ers in the next hour. Interesting.
How do you have a percentage? What?
I don't know. I don't know how. Yeah,
that's That's some bot, I think, making things
Yeah,
up
possibly.
for
Possibly.
clicks.
So, Mac Jones,
Mm,
as you mentioned, he's a little bit banged up. Both knees. Both knees are causing him problems. But he seemed to move okay when he needed to.
yeah,
And again, I'll say he's definitely proved me wrong over the last few weeks. When we got him, I knew about his passing ability. I knew about his deep ball. See, I did all that research on him during the
so
draft.
you've been in on him for 4 years.
Because I pulled the short straw. But the one thing that concerned us after seeing him play for the Patriots was his durability. Durability, that's the word I was looking for before. Durability. The fact that he seems to get hurt dead easy, and he doesn't particularly seem tough. But I think what he's proved over the last few weeks is he's definitely a tough football player, and I think that's starting to resonate with the rest of the people on the offense, the rest of the players, and hopefully with the O-line as well, so that they do a better job of protecting them. As you said, we did play a little bit better on O-line against the Giants, but we have to take into consideration the Giants are not particularly a good team. Yes, they do have
Decent D line, decent D
Thibodeau
line.
and Brian Burns, two very, very good players indeed. But yeah, I think Mac Jones is starting to prove me wrong. I'm starting to be a believer in his ability as a backup quarterback, because I still can't wait to see Brock back, mind, because I think that'll just set us alight on offense. I truly believe that. And it's just looking at the defense. How can we change the defense? How can we make it better? Richard Stockdale's already said it. Let me find the. I think I've already got on there. Yeah, nobody's going to make a Super Bowl contender. Yeah, you're probably right. But again, look at some of the teams that have won the Super Bowl in the past. We've had some quite, not mediocre, but quite underrated teams that didn't really have any big stars, but they played as a team.
You can sneak into the playoffs, and then you deserve to be there as much as anyone else.
Exactly.
We've seen those, seventh seed go on the road and make it all the way through to the Super Bowl, and there's still quite a lot of season to go. I think a lot of the teams that are playing well have avoided injuries. And as soon as you potentially get an injury balancing out compared to the volume of injuries we've had, suddenly, Stafford gets hit badly. He loses he's out for a couple of games. That can knock the Rams right out of it. Same with, say, Darnold or Hurts. Obviously, any quarterback, but some of those teams, if they start to get a couple of injuries build up on their side as well, suddenly it doesn't look so bad for us. But I think at the moment, I would go with Richard's statement there. We knew this was a reset year. I think our expectations were we'd be happy to be making the playoffs. I think the way that things have gone, we've got a little bit more excited, and the way that
it's the hope that
6-3, it is the hope that kills you. I do think it'll catch up with us when you get to the playoffs. We can put away bad teams like the Giants quite handily, and think of us being, really perhaps more of a contender than perhaps we might find ourselves to be when it comes to the business end of the season. But as I said, I don't think it's worth. Certainly, you wouldn't throw anything away at the moment, but I wouldn't necessarily use those premium resources. I'd rather see us, shock horror, maybe draft an offensive lineman with a first round pick next year. Again, it'll be another pass rusher, or it'll be, I don't know what else we might need. Top corner, top safety. We'll be picking somewhere in the middle of the draft. So,
yeah, more than likely. I think I found the source of the trade percentage. Oh, typical. That moved just as I clicked on it. There we go. Chris is our source. 40% chance he grabs a B this evening. Safety, cornerback in the draft, you say?
I don't know. I think right now it's offensive line. I think
Yeah.
that's
I think
needed.
it's got to be. It's got to
It's
be offensive
it's
line for a change.
well, it's going to be trenches. I think first,
Yeah.
first possibly and second round picks as well. It depends who Shanahan might have his eye on. I could see us if there was that kind of playmaker, maybe like a tight end. You might fancy bringing somebody in who's going to be that longer term Kittle replacement, but we need a Trent Williams replacement. I think above all else. There we go.
Eric agrees with you.
He does. Good man.
Yeah,
He knows his stuff, Eric. So
I think we've missed our chance to get a Trent Williams replacement. I think it should have been this draft this year.
yeah, totally. Well, middle of the draft, it's pushing it a bit, isn't it? Let's move up and get somebody.
There was plenty of players there that are going to have good careers. Actually, I need to check out how well some of those players are playing that we let slip through our fingers.
Yeah.
And that's not a knock on Michael Williams, by the way. I think Michael Williams has been a really good player. Obviously not generating the amount of sacks that we'd expect, but still, I think he's been a decent player. But I would love for us to have gone through the O-line. Somebody to protect Brock. Even if it meant taking the left tackle and sticking them at right tackle for a season.
Yeah, because McKivitz has struggled. He had a pretty good season last year, but I think he has struggled again this year.
I don't think it's been too bad this year, McKivitz. Compared to our
I think he had a bit of a battering against the Texans.
Oh, he did have a bit of a battering against the Texans, that, without a shadow of doubt. But before that, he was playing a decent level of football. And he definitely wasn't the weakest link on the O-line. I mean, look no further than Jake Brendel. And yes, he has been out for the last 2 games, but still, look no further. It's got his fingerprints all over that O-line, hasn't it? Yeah, I think he's hexed us.
Anyway, that's probably a conversation for the off season where we see what we're going to do with pick 32. So,
pick 32, you think? You know what? I am still confident. You know, I am. I'm confident. I have expectations.
Well,
then again, I'm a sports fan. You know what? I'm a sports fan. And I don't think I'm being unrealistic because I still think the NFL
we get Brock back
this season.
Yeah, we get Purcell back. We get Brock back. I mean, I think even adding Ayuk later on in the season could be a bit of an X factor. I think it's difficult to tell. There, we've gone back to our first year backup quarterback. Shanahan's probably pared down the playbook a little bit, and we know as soon as Brock is back, he's going to have the full playbook open. Again, CMC is in form. I think Kittle has had a couple of good games coming back from his injury. We need that difference maker. I think with a guy like Purcell or Ayuk coming back to give us some big play threat. That at the moment defenses are probably finding it relatively easy to game plan for us, and it's stop CMC and see what else you've got. But of course, obviously the Giants didn't do a particularly good job of that, but the Texans obviously did. So there's a blueprint there. Let's hope that other people aren't paying attention. And we do have the small matter with the Rams at the weekend, and that's usually a close matchup, no matter how the teams are form are doing or injuries. It's going to be a cracker, I think. News coming through, Lee?
No, not yet. It's really annoying. Twitter, you used to see a breaking update once. You now see the same breaking update for like 2 hours solid.
Yeah.
Very frustrating. You know, trade deadline day for me, when we still in with the chance of making the playoffs up, I mean, by trade deadline, everybody should still be within a realistic chance of making the playoffs. But when you've got a team that you look around and you think, well, there's nobody head and shoulders above us, especially the way they're playing at the moment. And it does give you that hope. It's a little bit like free agency day, the first day of free agency. Who are we going to get? But obviously, this is the flip side. Instead of being the first day, it's going to be the last day of free agency, but the trade deadline.
If we were getting Purcell, if Purcell had been back, then I think there would be more chance a guy like JJ would go. I would think that's probably a bad move at the moment, just because we don't seem to have that timeline for Purcell or Ayuk to be back. We might just have to miss out on what we might have been able to cash in, and it's strange. JJ's been so popular, and I think this season he hasn't proven that he's worth the money he was
No,
asking
definitely
for.
not. Yeah.
You know, there was that big difficult catch that he should have had. Was it the long ball? Was that against the Texans? Didn't wheel it in.
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's, you know, if you want 20 million a year, you make those catches.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was a little bit disappointing the way in which he did that, the way it came about so late into training camp as well. Started making the noise, unsettling everybody. And it's okay doing it if you can back it up, but he hasn't backed it up, which is a shame, because over the previous couple of seasons, he's been one of the most underrated players on the team. He's almost been money for us, especially on third downs. He's been great with his hands. And this year, it just hasn't looked the same. Yeah, and Super Bowls.
And Paddy Power.
Yeah, definitely Paddy Power. This year, he just hasn't been the same. And you've got to think, is his heart actually in it? Because it doesn't look as though it's in it. Yes, he's turned around and he says, "Oh well, I'm playing through 5 broken ribs, an amputated leg, half an arm, or whatever it is he's got. You know, decapitated twice a week." So he's got his injury excuses there. But I think Trent Williams said it last year when it might have been our friend Devondre Campbell or Brandon Ayuk, and he turned around and he said, "Everybody's dealing with something. You just get out there and you play. You don't make a big deal about it."
Yeah,
and it's just disappointing to see that. Just disappointing to see it.
it is. And this, injuries aside, this would have been a chance for him to really prove that he's worth the money he was sniffing around for. Given that Purcell had been out and Ayuk had been out, he was there to be the number one for the first part of this season, and hasn't really taken that opportunity. You know, Kendrick Bourne has been the bigger playmaker than he has. But yeah, you know, he has been banged up. But yeah, I would think this is JJ's last season with the Niners, which would be a shame, I think.
Yeah, it will be, especially after I went and got his jersey. I've never worn it once yet, so it was one of those rip-off jerseys. But it's a little bit big, so I need to wear it with a hoodie underneath. But I was so looking forward to wearing that because it was the Super Bowl jersey with the patch on, and obviously I won all that money off betting on him getting MVP. So I thought, yeah, I've got to get myself a J1 Jennings jersey. So we've got quite a few people coming in from the States at the moment. Hi guys, how are we doing? Bebop Jones, Terradome, joining our very own Red Jets Shell. You need to check out all of her collages on Instagram and movies. As long as she's not getting copyright strikes and having them taken down, that is. But that's a sore point. Let's not talk about that.
Giants, we talked offense. Defense, good performance. I think obviously Giants were missing Scatterbo, obviously, who was Najee's draft crush. Shame we didn't get him. He seems like a fun player. I hope he comes back from his injury fairly quickly. So that was clearly a good
injury.
It was a nasty injury. Yeah, shame with Jaden Daniels as well.
I know Jaden Daniels. Yeah.
So yeah, we think we're beat up, but I mean we are badly beat up. But yeah, there's people around the league getting bad injuries as they usually do.
I mean, the turnaround saying the Commanders are the most beat up team in the NFL. They're not. They just happen to have quite a lot in the same game beat up. They're still nowhere near us. So, yeah, I mean, those injuries were bad. How did our defense play? Like I said, I thought the first drive, I didn't think we particularly played very well. There's far too many missed tackles.
We've seen that Salah does seem to have that kind of soft vanilla defense for those first drives, I think, doesn't it? We've seen this before. We've seen opponents come out, drive down the field very easily in their first possession. And then we've seen Salah go, right, I know what your game plan is now, and shuffle things around and then shut them down.
I don't know. I think we're thinking about a different Salah here because I recall not his first season, because his first season he was finding his feet, but definitely the second season. From the moment the ball was kicked off, we used to shut teams down straight away, and it just looked like a dominant defense, which we definitely don't look like now. But it's understandable.
He has got the
because of
players. I think
the
he's
amount
trying
of
to fill in
injuries.
the gaps.
Exactly. But I think we grew into the game. Up and stout, getting a tackle for a loss again. I think he's been playing well. Yes, he gets the odd flag because he's a little bit handsy. But
He's
I think
a
I'll put up with
rookie
that.
slot. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
it's going to happen.
Malik Mustafa. I finally noticed him in the game. You know, obviously he's come back off a big injury. It's taken him a while to get up to game speed. But there he was stuffing the runs on Sunday night. So it's pleasing to see him back playing the level that he can play. And I think once we just click, I think that's all it's going to take. Just something to click. Hopefully it's Bryce Huff coming back on Sunday night against the Rams.
Yeah, he should be
Apparently
back.
he's going to be back.
That's going to
And I
make
think
a
that'll
big
be
difference.
Yeah, I think it will be.
That's going to be like drafting him. It's like trading for him. I think bringing a guy like that back in.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what? The way they think about trades and the draft, they could come out and say something like that. Well, we didn't need to trade for anyone because Bryce Huff is back. So yeah,
I thought Sam Okwanu did okay, and Clelin Farrell. I thought he was going to get flagged for that massive
one sack each.
blindside hit on Jackson Dart.
Well, so did I, because he landed.
I'm glad he didn't.
Flat bang on his body.
I thought
so. I thought he was going to get flagged for it.
I guarantee if that had been Mahomes, there would have been a flag from every single referee. Yeah. It would have just been raining yellow.
Yeah, and like you said, Sam Okwanu, I thought he had a good game.
He's getting better. He's getting a little bit better every game, isn't he?
Yeah. So I was just about to say something very similar, saying he's quietly improving game by game, and he's going under the radar, which is a good thing because again, you get Bryce Huff back, and all the attention suddenly goes under Bryce Huff. And Okwanu can then quietly get on with his game, or Clelin Farrell can get on with his game and make a difference at that side. And maybe that's the answer. Maybe we don't need a defensive end. Maybe
we need bodies. And we've seen
we do. We need
the rotation might be better. Plus, half of them are going to get injured by the end of the season. So we just need quantity over quality, I think, and we can rotate them and send these guys from different angles.
Exactly, which is what maybe I was trying to get to at the start of the show when I was saying maybe we don't go for that one outstanding player. We go for two or three, not low quality, but middle of the road players who bring that experience and that leadership. Because I think that's more valuable at the moment, and obviously more bodies. We need those bodies in there because we're just churning around our roster at the moment and the practice squad. I don't know. I mean, maybe we give Stone Blanton a go. I mean, he was a guy that I was really set up on at the start of the season, but obviously we didn't keep him. He didn't make the roster cuts. And everything I'd seen of him on tape, he looked like a very good linebacker. He looks like the type of linebacker that everybody would like to watch play. A hard-hitting linebacker, stops the run at the line of scrimmage. Maybe he's a little bit short for a linebacker for my liking. But everything I saw of him, the way he moves, the way he watches the game, he reminded me of a shorter Brian Urlacher. And I'd like to see him get a chance.
Yeah, it's the positive side of all these injuries is that there's a lot of guys getting more snaps perhaps than we thought. We knew we were going to have to lean on the younger players this year and more so than we thought at the beginning of the season. And ultimately, it's hopefully going to accelerate some of these guys' developments as well.
Hopefully. Now, there's one that must have slipped past me because I didn't see that. So Jalen Phillips has gone to the Eagles.
Yesterday, was it? Maybe
yesterday.
Even...
Yeah, I completely missed that one. I mean, if Jalen Phillips has gone to the Eagles from Miami, would they now be willing to trade Bradley Chubb? Have they suddenly gone into rebuild mode?
Well,
If they've gone into rebuild mode, I mean, what does that mean for Mike McDaniel?
well, it's odd that obviously Greer has gone, the general manager who's been there years,
Yeah.
but not McDaniel. It's an odd thing, isn't it? You often see the coach go, and then maybe the GM follow later on towards the end
Yeah.
of the season. But for the GM to go mid-season, but not the coach, it's that's not a well-run organisation, is it? I think the Dolphins.
Well, well, let's play devil's advocate here. If there was one person going to get sacked out of Shanahan and Lynch at the 49ers, which one do you think it would be?
Yeah, Lynch probably. I think,
Because if you
but
believe
I
what was
don't know
mentioned
why.
years ago,
Yeah,
it was
but
Shanahan
they
that
always came as a
brought Lynch
package.
in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whereas obviously Greer's been there for a lot longer and probably brought, or at least was part of the crew that brought in McDaniel. So
Completely agree with Chris. I think that's a good trade. 50 pence in a pack of quavers.
yeah, I mean the Dolphins are a team that are adrift and directionless, aren't they? They're the sort of ones who should be.
Dolphins, Titans,
Yeah.
Saints. Is there anybody on the Titans that you would have?
No, but at least the Titans knew they were going to be terrible and would and are in that rebuilding season. I think that the Dolphins were thinking they'd be a playoff team, and I think it's clearly not gone to plan. But obviously the Titans are rebuilding around their first round pick, and yeah, Miami is just it's a mess, particularly their quarterback situation.
Yeah.
It's
definitely.
there's some bad teams around the league. This year,
Well,
perhaps more so than ever, there seem to be some real, the Saints are terrible, the
yeah.
Titans are terrible. No, we didn't necessarily expect them to be anything else. They're rebuilding, but there's some other teams that are more terrible than I thought they would be. Dolphins, Browns.
Yeah, and again, as I was saying, it's just wide open. There's no one standout team, but you can see there are some teams starting to separate themselves. I mean, the Colts. I think the Colts have been a good team this year. They've made a good trade today, so they're getting significantly better on defense.
Yeah, I think they've had a soft beginning of the season, and I think they've surprised people. Obviously, the way the offense has been running, I think that could probably be shut down. I think they're going to probably be somewhere like 500 for the rest of the season. As in, what have we got left? Eight games. I think they'll probably be 4-4 at the rest of the season.
Right, interesting. We could see the Chiefs miss the playoffs for the first time in God knows how many years.
I think they're getting back to themselves. I know they got beaten by the Bills, but they always get beaten by the Bills in the regular season. It means nothing, does it? Yeah.
I think we all picked the Bills in the pick'em at the weekend, so yeah, that's no surprise there. But they aren't playing great football. They don't seem to be cohesive as a team. Obviously, the Ravens have been pretty poor this year.
Yeah, without Jackson, back. Obviously, if he comes back.
So they might pick up again, go on a bit of a run. And it's how you finish, not how you start. Obviously, always say that. The Eagles are kind of hit and miss. Very inconsistent this year.
They've strengthened. I think they've gone all in. They've had a couple of trades.
They have, but they've got a good roster as it is. They just don't seem to be consistent. There's something kind of missing there. And then the Packers. I mean, the Packers getting beat off the Panthers. What's that?
I think that's a bad day at the office. I think, but I don't think the Packers have been that much better given the hype about the Micah Parsons trade, where suddenly they're going to be number one defense. They haven't really been that much better. I think Parsons has played reasonably well, but I think they still seem like a playoff team and will win a playoff game, but don't necessarily seem like a championship team. Not yet. But like I say, who really does?
On current form, who do you see has been the two teams in the NFC Championship this season?
Right now, Rams Seahawks.
Well, no, mate, no.
Uh, I
I was
hate it.
actually
I
going to.
hate it.
Yeah, I know. I was actually going to go Eagles Seahawks because I think the Seahawks are looking like a a team that are on a roll at the moment. Um, Mind you, they've got some pretty tough games coming up as well, and obviously the last game of the season is against us at Levi's, so that could be a telling game. But I think they're going to be there or thereabouts towards the end of the season,
Mm.
and I think it's going to be incredibly close between us, the Seahawks, and the Rams as to who actually wins the division. We could see all three teams in the playoffs. It could be that we get seeded purely because of our divisional record. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out because obviously home field advantage is everything in the NFL. And I certainly wouldn't like to go up to Lumen's Field in the playoffs because that atmosphere is going to be a hell of a lot different to the atmosphere I experienced a few years ago up in Lumen's Field for Thanksgiving when I think it was over 60% of the crowd were 49er fans. You don't want to be going up there and playing in Lumen's during the playoffs because it's an intimidating atmosphere.
No. Some news?
No, so I was just looking at who's kind of agreeing with both of us.
Yeah, I think
Rams.
Eagles, Rams.
Yeah.
I'd prefer that. Yeah.
See the Lions again. The Lions can put points on the board, but their defense doesn't seem to be as good as what it was a couple of years ago.
And I think they're brittle. Obviously,
They're
they lost
yeah.
a couple of bodies on the offensive line, which had been a good strength, and I think was partly responsible for how good Goff has been at the Lions, and fair play to him for doing so. But it just, I hope Shanahan and Lynch watch and say, this is what you can do if you invest in a really good offensive line. You can make an average quarterback look great. And the thing about that is, if you've got a quarterback who's looking great, you can make average receivers look great. And that's why, to me, you invest in those trenches because they multiply up what the other players are able to do when the game becomes easy. And the game becomes easy when your quarterback's got time to operate your offense. But there we go.
So we're only 13 minutes away now from the trade window closing.
It's so exciting.
It's looking very likely that there's nothing going to happen, but you never know. I mean, now
I checked to
because
see
it's
if
getting
John's
so close,
texted me. No.
You know, because it's getting so close, I've gone away from a couple of mid picks or mid players to bolster the squad is what we probably is going to be looking at. To maybe it's just that one blockbuster trade that's going up to the wire because there's multiple teams all vying for that player, and the selling team are trying to get the best deal out of that. And it could be that selling team's the Bengals and that plays Trey Hendrickson. So I mean, it could still happen.
He is the biggest name, perhaps, who's available. I think the Saints could still be sellers. I think we talked about some of their guys on the defensive side of the ball that might be available. I mean, they're a team that desperately needs to shed heavy contracted veterans and do something about the mess that their cap is in. I mean, same with Miami. I think they're in a bit of a mess financially as well. So these things they factor in. It's whether those teams are willing to give up on the season. I still think the Bengals are probably slightly deluded that they're still thinking we just hold on until Joe Burrow comes back and he'll fire us through to the playoffs. I think teams like the Titans, the Saints, they know they're not competing this season. It's easy for them to let go and look to the future, and no one would blame them for doing so. It's some of those other teams. At what point do you become a selling team and admit to your team, to your locker room, to your fans that it ain't happening this year? And I think Browns, Bengals, they probably should be.
Browns.
But whether they will?
Yeah. I'm wondering what sort of conversation John Lynch had at the weekend when we were over in New Jersey, sorry, playing against the Giants, especially around Brian Burns.
Maybe?
Well, Brian Burns.
I think he's a piece that you keep. He's the key,
Brian
the
Burns.
piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Giants would say, look, we're all in on our quarterback. We need somebody opposite him to anchor on the defensive side, and
Oh,
you think
sorry. So
that's
you're
going to be
saying the
Burns.
Giants need to keep Brian Burns,
Yeah.
right? But
So
Thibodeau might be
yeah,
the pick.
yeah.
Yeah, possibly. It's just so frustrating that there's nothing coming through, especially seeing as though every time we do a podcast, they go and make a trade just as we finish recording the podcast.
Well, evening, John. He's watching. He's waiting for us to finish up so that he can announce
He
it.
is. You're not wrong.
Because obviously the trade deadline slams shut, doesn't it, in terms of the registrations and the paperwork? But it might not get announced for hours afterwards.
So Jeff Daney, he's just tweeted saying, don't expect a big move by the 49ers, but probably is a death piece like Arden Key, which we've mentioned on the show tonight. And again, I mean, I would be happy with that.
And
he knows the system. He knows the players.
Yeah, and we know we're probably getting some compensatories. We seem to be milking that compensatory formula, so we know we're going to have those late round picks to spread around and get the bodies we need now, because that's what we need on that defensive line. We just need some names. We need some jerseys filled. That's it. We need bodies back.
Yeah, that would be funny to see Miles Garrett flip today, but I don't think that's going to happen. I honestly don't think that's going to happen.
No.
But never say never. Never say never. Or if you Neil Graham, say never.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some players. There's some players out there. There's some interesting teams. What I haven't seen is, so Sauce Gardner didn't really shock us that much. Shocked us how much they got for him, but didn't shock us that much, because the Jets are just such a poorly run organisation. The Jets and Browns together, they're like a mirror image of each other. And the only thing that's going to help the Jets actually improve on that is getting rid of the owner.
Yeah.
Whereas the Browns, they just keep on making terrible decisions with GMs. So it's one of those things, isn't it?
It's odd that I can't think of like a real top playmaker on the offensive side of the ball on one of these really bad teams. Maybe Chris Olave, perhaps at the Saints. A real tradable asset on one of those teams, which is definitely going to be doing business. The way we picked up CMC, for example, who was the standout player on a pretty mediocre Panthers team that was going nowhere. Is there a guy that I'm missing?
That was a steal.
Yeah, an absolute steal.
Is there a guy that you're missing? Probably not.
Because I think Titans haven't really got anyone. As I said, maybe Olave out of the Saints, but he's nothing more than a decent receiver. Maybe a bit,
and he's a little bit injury prone. He's made of glass. He's had a couple of poor injuries already. And do we really need a wide receiver?
Breece Hall maybe, but even that he's not.
So he's asked for a trade.
Oh,
he's asked for a trade, but
then
you've got the problem of where's he going to be? Is he going to be the second running back? Is he going to be the third running back? I think it was Richie Stockdale mentioned it further up the thread there that we don't use third string running backs.
No, we've barely seen Guendo this year. He's vanished, hasn't he?
Exactly. So yeah, I wouldn't see that happening. But it would be interesting to see if he does go. I mean, what? So good stat about the Jets. By trading both Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams today, the Jets are the first team since at least 1995 to trade multiple former All-Pro first-team players on the same day.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure Bryce Hall was an All-Pro one of his seasons. So that would
possibly
be 3. Because he did that. Was it his rookie season or the second season where he had an absolute cracking season? One of the two.
Yeah,
so that could be 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that.
I did not know that either. Wow. Some
Yeah,
pedigree
that is a
there.
good fact. Yeah. Yeah, and sorry, just to let Richard join in there. Richard didn't know that either.
Wow.
So 6 minutes away. 6 minutes away.
Educational as well as entertaining. What could you ask for on a wet Tuesday evening or Tuesday afternoon? Trying to read Lee's face
I know.
as draft night.
I was just about to say I wouldn't do that. Nadji made the mistake of doing that. I've got a decent poker face when I need to have a decent poker face, but at the moment, this is not happening, is it?
No. Do you think there's? Could you see the Rams going in for someone? They've got an aversion to having high draft picks. They tend to splash
just
them
look
around.
at the top of the NFC West. I mean, there's three of us all vying for it there. Any one of these teams. The Seahawks have already made their move. Potentially, I mean, we've already made our move as well. With Keon White last week.
It depends how much.
Would you be that disappointed if we didn't trade for anyone?
I think
or would you be more disappointed if we trade somebody away?
I'm not sure what assets we've got right now that we could really trade away. I think JJ is about it, and without Purcell and Ayuk definitely back soon, I think that's going to be a risk. Can't really see us wanting to part with anything else, and for what? To get a 6th or 7th round pick. We get those out of the compensatory formula. So, but we do need defensive line bodies with Mikael Williams going down. There's another roster spot there that we need, and if we haven't got the punch in terms of it, impact individual players, we're gonna have to rely on some kind of rotation. And we need guys. And yet, Arden Key is the kind of guy I would be very happy to see back for 6th round pick or whatever it might be that we can get him for. I would be disappointed if we don't get anyone, unless of course there is still some veteran who's been holding out and now fancies playing half a season, or there's some other guy on the street who hasn't been picked up. I don't know. Solomon Thomas, is he busy? You know where he is these days.
Do you think
it's a we need a body? No, but
mean,
it's a body we need on the line.
It is a body, and to be honest, I'd be happy to have Solomon Thomas back. I always thought he was a decent player. I just didn't think he was worth a third. That
was the problem. Yeah,
but I think that would taint him coming back. People wouldn't be particularly happy with that type of trade. So I can't see that happen. So shout out to Johnny Dell.
Knows the system.
So Johnny Dell has just tweeted the tweet of all tweets, proving that he is one of us. So many of us are about 99% certain the 49ers aren't making a move, but we all wait in these last 3 minutes just in case.
Just in case. Yeah, it is the hope that kills you.
So I'll tell you what. This last 3 minutes, let's go to the Predictor League.
Oh, of course, we haven't. I thought you might change your tune about the Predictor League with you stealing some points back. Sorry.
I mean, it's not much. It's only 2 points back. It should have been 7 points back, but for that last New York Giants touchdown.
Hooray for the Giants!
I was really hoping we could stop them on that drive. Get an interception and just kneel it down for the rest of the game, because that would have put me well and truly in the thick of it, up to second, and only only 3 points behind Najee. But I mean, I've closed the gap, because at one point I was 14 points adrift of Najee, so that's down to 8 points. Joint last place with both Paul and the Podcast Faithfuls. So you, Najee, and Paul all had an equal week this week, pulling in 2 points.
Just the win. The win, yeah. Do you know what the pass yards
it was 9
were? Was it 9? I think I went for 8.
Well,
didn't I
believe it was 9. It might have been 10. It was either 9 or 10, and none of us had it anyway, including the Podcast Faithfuls. When I worked it out, it was coming up at 9.75. But then I saw a thread on Discord saying, well, you have to take away the sack yards. And I thought, well, that makes no sense whatsoever. So I'm
It's,
not
yeah, it's
entirely
net
sure it was.
passing yards or something, isn't it?
Folger's piped up. I'm guessing he had 9. So it's 8.5 rounded to 9. Well, that was handy. That was handy because had that been 8, Gareth, you'd have been on the same points as me there.
Yeah.
For the week, that is. For the week. So
I think
you'd have
I'll
been still 6 ahead of us.
demand a recount, I think.
Yeah.
Press release out.
You know, that wouldn't surprise us. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise us. So the Saints doing some more trading in the last couple of minutes. Trading offensive lineman Trevor Penning to the Chargers.
Yeah, we're banged up, but the Chargers have lost about 7 tackles this season so far.
Yeah, there's
It shows that actually there are offensive linemen out there to get if you pull the trigger and do the deal.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so that is it for another year as far
We're done.
as trades are concerned.
Done.
I wonder who's available in free agency as far as defensive linemen are concerned.
Usually there'll be more than
players kicking
one.
about. Yeah. I think it's time to dip into the practice squad and see what we've got in there. See if we've got anybody who can be a diamond in the rough. Well, what can I say, Gareth?
It's been a pleasure to have you back, Lee.
Rob Molnar. A last-minute 49ers trade fell through. Is that was trading away or trading for? The worst thing is they won't tell you who it was.
Yeah, it might come out in a couple of days, but anyway, we should probably wrap this up so that we can find out who that is.
Right, guys, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Thank you for hosting again, Gareth. I think
a pleasure as always. Hopefully, we will. The 4 of us will be back soon if we can choreograph everything together with work and Nadji's case, little babies, and the 2 of us being bothered, and Sunderland's not playing in the middle of the week. It's been endless, hasn't it? The last few weeks, it's been one thing after another.
Yeah, definitely one thing after the other. Obviously, I was on holiday all of last week, so you know what a perfect holiday. 0 phone signal at all, so no distractions at all. So yeah, rested and recuperated, and ready to see what the rest of the year brings.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I think we're going to call it a day there. Keep your eye on your phones for that big news from John Lynch in, about 8 minutes now.
Try 10 seconds.
We'll be back with a show, hopefully, I think, towards the end of the week. We will be previewing the Rams, hopefully, if we can get 2 of us together at the same time. Looking forward to that one. Always like the Rams. Always like the Rams games.
I always like beating them. Yeah. I always like beating them.
Yeah, roast lamb on Sundays. We love it.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, good to see you, Lee, and good to see you guys. Thanks for joining us. I think we're out.
Yeah. Bang, bang, Nana gang.
We love the San Francisco 49ers deep in our heart. Like Joe Montana in the corner, D. Clark. Garrison Hurst, stiff farm going 99. Don't get it twisted, one and all with prime time. John Taylor, Jerry Rice down the